I was working always under the terrain, under the surface. Spirit said to me, you are going to have to work like a mole under the earth. You're going to have to do all your work without needing to be recognized, without looking for recognition, and keep on going and open up the paths, and nobody will see you. Can you live with that? And I said, yes, because my need to grow is bigger than any recognition I could ever get. And even if I never get the recognition I would like to get, I'm going to keep doing this forever, because this is me, and a voice tells me inside all the time, keep doing that, is the right thing. The first 10 years, I think I said it in the book, I did it like total mole, because they're almost blind, just going on faith alone, just like I wanted to write and I couldn't. Then I had my Reiki too, and then I went to work one day and Spirit said, go home, sit down in front of your computer, you're going to write your first book. That was the hidden gift. And in 2 weeks, that book wrote itself. And I just put it out there. And after that, I have never ever had writer's block. And they say, oh, you must practice every day. I don't practice every day. Well, I'm writing every day, but not to write. Sometimes an article comes, sometimes it's a post, sometimes it's a book. I just flow with it. I say to Spirit.
So the messages come,
Yes, I am a totally open channel. So now someone would say, you imagine that. Maybe I did. It worked for me. I don't have to justify it. And now I got accustomed to that inner voice. And if they say, who talks? I don't know who talks. And sometimes it's not even talking. Sometimes it's like a thought in my mind or
a
I don't know how to explain it, but it's a guidance. And we all have it. I just allow it.
I love that. I'm very inspired by that. And it takes me to the next element I wanted to touch on with you, which was about the animals. Or you spoke about moths. You spoke about the story, the beautiful story of that eagle, the flies, the birds. And the two that resonated with me was the moths, because we recently moved into a new place. And at a certain time every evening, there's 1 or 2 moths that just flitter about. And I've seen them and acknowledged them, not needing to chase them, not needing to be irritated by their presence, but just acknowledging that I see you. And I understand that their presence is not by accident. So I suppose what one would want to know is, what should one be reading? What, what comes to you? I mean, the place that we moved out of, there was a fly. There was always a fly. And I got to a place of realizing that this fly wasn't just a fly. No, but I stopped trying to, but I stopped trying to chase it away. It was there. It was just there. But what does one read?
So at the very beginning, I went to a life, mind, body, spirit fair in England when I was living in England. And the first book that came to me was Carlson's Animal Speak. That was a very thick book that I summarized for a year and a half. That's how I integrate. I summarize, I rewrite. And then I just took everything I could find on Animal Speak and Totem Animals. Within 3 months, I was doing readings. It was like a language. I got it so fast. It was like it saved my life. It was like I was drowning in corporate in England, and suddenly I was able to make sense of emotions. I was making sense of difficulties. I was able to take strategies, hold back. So from the very beginning, the first lesson I got was I was driving fast on the road, and I got this huge deer crossing in a motorway. And I had a car in the side and the car in the back. I couldn't get out. I couldn't do anything. And he was there in the front. So the first thing I thought is, press the class on, and startled, and he ran off, and I just passed, and I went, whoa. And 2 minutes later, in the back doors, in the back roads, going to hump another deer. So if someone said, oh, that was a coincidence, well, 2 deers at the same minute is not a coincidence.
How can that be a coincidence?
Wow, someone is talking to me through the animals, because I had already recognized the animals as a language or as a communication device. So spirit will give you the communication through the media that you pay attention to. You pay attention to animals, animals will be. Somebody will look at colors, paintings, radio, television, even games, series. Spirit is there. Spirit is everywhere. So the fly, when I discovered that the fly on the wall is like the crow, which is distance healing, I realized that every time I was doing a healing session or receiving a healing session, there was a fly. I go, there is a fly again, what the heck? And it's not just a fly, it circles and it goes, because I say to them, leave the message and go, otherwise I'll spray you. I don't want you in my house. Otherwise I call my husband, get rid of this. So it goes like that on the head and it goes. I said, wow, message coming and like that, everything. So now your life becomes so rich. At the beginning you're talking and it's long, nobody's listening. You go, is anybody there listening? I'm just doing all the talking. And then start receiving the messages back. And then you start feeling you're having a discussion and a dialogue. Wherever you think the answer comes, it's like amazing. I'm talking about something or have a question, I put up our hands, the answer is there. And then it says, who of you who are listening? And I go, okay. So,
and you feel it. You feel that connection.
Well,
yes.
And you think, I just have to have the question and the answer appears. You just have to be relaxed enough to listen. And the moth is the most transformative animal in the whole pack of cards. I spent 4 months drawing. They sent me to the children's library. I picked up all the books and and I did the drawings. And 4 months later, I'm going, I can't draw anymore. I'm tired of this. Okay. So I had to write the books. Within 4 days, it was all perfectly written in a specific amount of words. I went, thank you, all done. And then I've been doing animal card readings.
Wow.
I used to do them for my, I laminated them, printed them, and I have a few copies, I sold them all. What I did is basically what I always do. If I like something, I read everything that I can find, or I think I need to read, then I make my own. And I use my one, because my one is an integration of everything else plus my signature. I feel comfortable with it. And these cards, people are not scared. They don't feel like they are tarot.
Yes.
The pictures are like childlike, but just because the pictures are childlike, they are not threatening. They are in my books. So every so often I do myself a reading. Every day I may pick up a card, or if an animal comes up. Now I can speak the language, it's easy. Before it was like, what does that mean? So I read 3 or 4 books and then I did my own.